Yahweh Barak Yahushai. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. And the mighty Shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth, teaching this word and believing this word. The one that you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord, one the Most High have mercy on other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. This is a quick, straight to the point. The brother Yermayan just said something out of nowhere where he said, we don't even know what freedom feels like, when brothers is at work. I mean, kind of a somewhat easy night, cleaning, but, we on the clock, but actually taking a break. And I don't know what caused him to say that, but it hit me 10 times more when he said it, that we don't even know what freedom feels like. And, of course, Jake, we always persisted in marching, protesting, and all those things didn't do nothing for us. We truly don't know what freedom feels like. Let's look up the word freedom. Let's look it up. Salakia. So when you look up the word freedom, it means the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or resistance. Independence, self-government, liberty, which is freedom, right? What is independence? Independence is the fact or state of being independent, which we don't have not one form of independence. Self-government, a government of a country by its own people, especially after having been a colony, right? We don't have our own government, right? None of us truly know what freedom is. We don't even know what it looks like. What is the example of freedom, right? Let me see if I can get, right? We don't know what freedom look like. Having a government which is under Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, this is Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? We're not a homeborn slave, right? Yasharallah, the 12 tribes, is free. We're above all. But because of our sins and rebelling against the Lord, the Black, Latinos, and Hispanics don't know what freedom is. Just because you can go smoke a blunt, you can drink, you can go travel different countries. You think that that's freedom, but you don't even look between the lines where you got to have an ID. You got to have a passport to go to country. You don't got freedom of speech, right? If it was freedom of speech, how can Kanye say that we're the real Jews, right? And they're not, and billions of dollars get taken from them. We don't know what freedom look like. All our clothes, hunger and thirst, we go to our adversaries. We go to our enemies. We're not in no shape or any type of form of being free. And that just goes to the consequences of us, right? Of the things that we have done to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Right? I want to get this precept in Daniel the 9th chapter. This is Daniel chapter 9, I believe, verse 12. It says, he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil, for under the whole heaven have not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem. Right, Lord willing, I get to do another quick lesson later on dealing with I'm gonna ask ChatGPT a question: did nations or empires flourish when the Israelites was their slaves or their servants or subjects? I mean, and technically that's an easy answer, because of course we gave nation problems when it came to our law, statutes, and commandments, where we wasn't buying and selling on the Shabbat, right? We had to do festivals for the Lord. It was taken away from their system, right? But in most cases, the Israelites was a huge benefit for all empires, especially when we look at Egypt and we look at America, right? A lot of wealth came off of the sweat and tears of the Black, Latinos, and Natives. Now that I said that, let me see if I can ask this question. Uh, so here we go. So did a wait, hold on, Salaki, wrote that wrong. Salaki. Salaki, y'all bear with me. So did America make a lot of money off the black Latinos and Native Americans? It says yes, the United States made a significant amount of its earning wealth and built much of its economy foundation off the exploitation of black Latinos and Native American people. Here's a breakdown of how black Americans through slavery and racial labor system, chattel slavery, 1619 to 1865, enslaved Africans were descendants, and their descendants were forced to work in plantations, cotton, tobacco, and sugar that generated a massive wealth, especially in the South. By 1860, the cotton economy alone accounted for more than half of the U.S. exports. Enslaved people were valued as billions of dollars in property. And even when you look at the book, How White Folks Got Rich, it says the family, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, which really is the same, they made billions and billions of dollars off of the cotton, right? Off of especially slave trading in the cotton, sugar. They made billions of dollars. That's where a lot of their wealth stems from. It says northern banks, insurance companies, and shipping firms also profited by financing and insuring the slave trade. Even after abolish, even after abolish sharecropping, Jim Crow laws and wage exploitation continue to economically suppress Black Americans while benefiting white landowners and industrialists. Now, if we go into certain points of history, right? When you look at Henry Dawn's Act, he was making the natives change their name to English sounding names. And it's certain points where if the natives would not change their names, they was making war with them because they was trying to take the land. Now, yes, Esau came with laws and documents or whatever, and the natives didn't have documents and laws to show that they had the land, but they, of course, the Edomites knew that they was there first. But even when we really look at the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, none of us can defeat Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So when you look at, especially with the Northern Kingdom, the Mexicans, the Ephraimites, a lot of them, even in old time being in America, they were battling against each other, sacrificing, doing human sacrifices, believing in Ra. It's a lot of old philosophy that the Northern Kingdom cleaved to, right? And that was the cause and effect of the northern kingdom, let alone the southern kingdom, falling, because we wasn't serving the true power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So going into the Latinos and the Mexican origins peoples, lands seized in labor. It says after the Mexican American War in 1846, 1848, the U.S. took over half of Mexico's territory, including California. So California is a part of Mexico. Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, rich in land, resources, and gold. Mexican and Central American laborers have historically provided cheap agriculture and industrial labor, often under exploitation conditions, right? It just just removed it. Salaki family. Salaki, I just gotta try to get some of this information back again. Um, so in the Latinos in 1846 to 1848, the Latino workers, particularly from Mexico and Central America, have long provided low-wage labor in agriculture, construction, and service industries. Brasarino program in 1942, Salaki, if I pronounced it incorrectly, 1964 brought millions of Mexican laborers to work in the U.S. Uh, ec- ec- um, under harsh conditions, often without the labor protections given to the white workers. Ongoing issues. Undocumented Latino workers are especially vulnerable to wage theft, poor working conditions, and limited legal resources. Native Americans, lands dispossession. The U.S. government and settlers took vast amount of land, which I think netted them 2.3 billion acres of land, amount of land from native peoples through treaties. They had 400 treaties with the natives and broke every last one. Wars, forced removal, betrayals of tears. This land formed the basis of agriculture, mining, and settlement, creating wealth for non-Native Americans. Resource extraction. Native lands were often rich in natural resources, timber, oil, minerals that were extracted with little or no benefit to the native communities themselves. Cultural and economic destruction, boarding schools, broken treaties, economic uh, marginalization, disrupted traditional economics, societies, causing lasting harm. So the conclusion, yes, much of the America economy development, especially in its early years, was built on systems that exploited these groups. While some programs have been made, the legacy of that exploitation still shapes the economic equalities today, right? So it's still forming off the backs of the Latinos and natives, man. Right? We don't know what freedom feels like, and if it was another question I asked like a few days ago, I forgot what point it was at, but later on, ChatGPT says that the Black Latinos and natives are not in the knowing, but they consist to have status. And Salaki, that's that's through the spirit. That's ass backwards for you, to want to have status, but not in the knowing. You don't know the system that you're under, and just because you can go smoke a blunt, just because you can have social media, you think you free. It doesn't work like that. But all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai for the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that we're able to achieve through the scriptures and be able to do deep dive investigation. Because When you look at, what is it, Second Chronicles, the 15th chapter, verse 13, it says, whosoever don't seek Yahweh Hashem Shai shall be put to death. When you look up the word seek, it goes into Yarash. And to seek is to investigate. So while we're investigating Yahweh by Shem Shai, is other information through the scriptures that's going to point you to go even further, right? When it deals with Esau's engineer mindset, when it comes to science, when it comes to technology, right? Just Esau as a whole, his sword, his background of war, taken from nations, right? You want to do research on that. Um, Research on how the 12 tribes, how Esau benefit off of all the 12 tribes, right? From slavery, from us being the top consumers, right? Jake, we're the biggest consumers on the earth. Drug dealers really think that they're doing something, but Esau is benefiting off of you not knowing who you is, right? And that's the main mission that the elites push. Yes, we don't see them on TV. Yes, you don't see them say, oh, let's not make them a people, but it's in the Bible. And within the Bible, having faith, you have to know the mindset of your enemy. They always want to keep you down, because if you rise up, scripture wise, they know that it will be their end, you know? So again, going to the point where Yarmayan said, we don't know what freedom feels like. You really don't. You know, you when you go home, you lock your doors. You're going right back to prison. You know, you're in freedom, where in so many examples where you're not even taken care of. They put more fluoride in your sink water. You know, freedom is multiple examples. Freedom is not just being being free from control. It's being free from chemtrails, right? Drinking lead in your water, right? The inventions that you make is not being taken over, and you know, whites are putting their name on it that they made it, right? Working, you know, working more than you actually spending time enjoying life, enjoying air, enjoying your children, enjoying your wife or enjoying your wives, right? Freedom as in our women, instead of being insecure, right? They're trying to keep status quo while trying to be in competition, looking better than another sister, right? Being free is even liking yourself, because everywhere you look around, you got something pushing you down to make you not like yourself. There's many examples of being free, right? And being free is not just only not being in captivity, right? Being free from drugs, right? Things that you might use to keep you in a mellow behavior or a mellow thought. You know, we wasn't created to be that. You know, we was really created to be free, right? Because the world was made for our sakes. Really think about it, man. You know, you're not free. You know, getting on a plane, you got to show information to get on a plane to go to another city. You know, you're not free. You know, whatever job that you want, you got to show them all your information. Now, you be like, I don't want everybody to know my business, but when you get a job, they got to know your email, your phone number, how many people live in your house. You getting food stamps, how many people live in your house. And wherever we go in this system, somebody's always in our business. You know, we're not truly free, where our kids is getting watered down educations, and or they're polluted by the things of this world, where your children don't want to learn about Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Your kids act like they do, right? Because their mind is still on play, 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 play. Look how low we became, where our grown-ups, the men, women, even the children, don't have a desire to hear the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Bashim Rashai. It's not cool anymore. It's not an interest to Jake anymore. You know, so again, we don't know what freedom really feels like. And it's a thought. You know, Lord willing, brothers and sisters have dreams on it, which, you know, that freedom is gonna really come with Yahweh Shai. So, Lord willing, this little encouragement, you know, words words of encouragement have you thinking. You know, think about it. You don't even know what freedom feels like, not 1 inch. But all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Bhakti Yahweh Bhakti Shai, double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. Mighty Shalom to the hopeful elect in the same Spirit, but willing that you all continue to endure and be sincere. Shalom to the Akwatiyam, believers of this faith and this truth. Shalom, the Bible Ball.